Bring you out some big news in terms of the Secretary of State Marco Rubio's trip to Latin America, talking with the president of El Salvador. I do want to put up this, a post from the Associated Press saying the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says El Salvador's president has offered to accept deportees from the United States of any nationality, as well as violent American criminals now imprisoned in the United States. We did hear some brief comments coming in from Rubio there after the Spanish version of this press conference. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
Privilege. This is my first signing ceremony. I've been Secretary of State now for is today Tuesday? 2 weeks. And it's great to do it here in a nation among people with which we have so much in common that unifies us. There's an extraordinary Salvadoran American community in South Florida and also in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area where I've worked in the Senate, now Secretary of State for a number of years, and we are unified and hold in common so many things. It's also exciting to be here in the presence of all of you to see the transformation of a society and of a nation that not too long ago faced great insecurity. But we've seen the transformation under the leadership of this administration here and President Bukele. A country that was once known for violence and for the inability to live openly and freely with one's family and enjoy life has now become one of the most secure in the hemisphere, thanks to his leadership, to the difficult decisions that had to be made. But now, in addition to continuing to maintain and build upon that security, comes the extraordinary opportunity of transformation to prepare this country and its people for the 21st century, for the technologies like nuclear energy that will allow you to power a 21st century and economy that will allow this to be the home of every advanced technology and industry of this new era, so that the people, the young people of this country and all people of this country will be able to live not just in peace but in prosperity, raise their families here, and give their children the chance at a life even better than their own. And it's so exciting to be here today as part of this agreement, that of civil nuclear cooperation, in which we can take the first step, side by side with you, the people of El Salvador, to build that better future. I think I would also take a moment to announce, especially to my friends covering this back home in America, of an extraordinary meeting we had. We spent over 2.5 to 3 hours with my friend, President Bukele and his team, and then we had some time privately. And while more details will be forthcoming, the president, in an act of extraordinary friendship to our country, knowing the challenges we face in the U.S., has agreed to the most unprecedented and extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world. First, obviously, he continues with full cooperation on the returning of Salvadorians who find themselves illegally in the United States and welcome them back home. And that's already existing, and that will continue. But second, he has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And third, he has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residence. No country's ever made an offer of friendship such as this. That you can think about it, any unlawful immigrant, illegal immigrant in the United States who's a dangerous criminal, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, whatever it may be, he has offered his jails so we can send him here and he will put him in his jails. And he's also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentences in the United States, even if they're U.S. citizens or legal residents. And we are profoundly grateful. I spoke to President Trump about this earlier today, and it's just one more sign of what an incredible friend we have here in President Bukele and the people of El Salvador. Thank you and God bless you. And now I look forward to signing this agreement.
Gracias. Señor Secretario.
A major move there between these two nations, the United States and also El Salvador, as they called it, one of the safest in the hemispheres there in Latin America. So we're following it very closely here, talking about that. The El Salvador's offered to accept deportees from the United States and, of course, also house some violent criminals that may be U.S. citizens. I do want to put up a post from the president there of El Salvador talking about friends. You can see on the left portion of your screen, that is Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So some big news as the U.S. Secretary of State said late Monday that El Salvador's president had offered to accept deportees from the United States of any nationality, including violent American criminals now imprisoned and in custody in the U.S. The president said, quote, they have agreed to the most unprecedented, extraordinarily migratory agreement anywhere in the world. He also said he also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentence in the United States, even though the U.S. citizens or legal residents. So after Rubio spoke, the U.S. official said the Trump administration had no current plans to try to deport American citizens, but the offer was significant. The U.S. government cannot deport American citizens, and such a move may be met with significant legal challenges. So Rubio was visiting El Salvador to press a friendly government to do more to meet the President Trump administration's demands for a major crackdown on immigration amid turmoil in Washington over the status of the government's main foreign development agency. All right, we're following it very closely here on Live Now from Fox. A live look one more time there in Washington, D.C. at the White House. And I imagine plenty of headlines, plenty of conversations on Tuesday will be about that exact subject. Also, the legal loopholes, the legal challenges that it may face if they do accept this offer from El Salvador.